The flapping of a butterfly's wings in Brazil can cause a storm in Texas. It sounds so strange, isn't it? I am not saying this, but this is the title of a scientific research published in 1972. Nothing is small in this world. Everything has an impact because everything is connected, and it is not everyone's cup of tea to understand this mysterious concept. American mathematician and meteorologist Edward Lorenz, who used to do weather forecasting for the U.S. Air Force, was working on a simulation of the Earth's atmosphere one day in 1961. He had 12 types of data like temperature, humidity, air pressure, wind direction, etc. He took out the weather report from the computer. The machine showed that the weather would be sunny. He wanted to test the simulation again, so he thought of rerunning the same program, and to save time, he picked up data from the middle and put it in the computer, so that the same result can be returned. But this time the computer showed a completely different weather prediction. Now the machine was showing that a storm was about to come. He was shocked. He thought there was something wrong with the computer. But after thinking for many days, he found that, while inputting data into the computer, he had rounded off the value of the numbers to only 3 decimal places instead of 6 decimal places. And this small difference of 0.001 caused such a big change in the weather. And in this way, the chaos theory was discovered. And the figure formed by plotting that equation looks like a butterfly. That is why it is also called the butterfly effect. Its basic concept is that in a very big system, even a slight change in the smallest thing changes the entire system. If you had not clicked on this video, your future would have been different. The series of events that were going on in your life would have taken you to some other timeline. But now you clicked on this video. So this decision of yours will affect every future decision. This is the butterfly effect, the story of World War I, in which about 2 crore people died. Starts with just one wrong turn. A car which was going on the road had to go right, but took a left. Just one turn led to a series of events which caused World War I. Every decision of yours matters because everything in the world is connected at a basic level. It is connected with an energy which you cannot see. On June 28, 1914, the Prince of Hungary went out for a drive with his wife. Then his driver took a wrong turn. Due to that mistake, they passed by a cafe which was unplanned, but coincidentally at that time, his hater Gavrilo Princip, who was from the neighboring country Serbia, was also present there. The surprising thing was that Gavlo also did not come there with any purpose. He had come there just to eat sandwiches. He saw the opportunity and shot the prince and his wife, and both of them died there. After that, Hungary blamed Serbia for this. And in this way, some countries join on this side and some on that side. And this is how the world's most terrible war started, World War I. If that driver had taken the right path that day, then perhaps that prince would not have died. Neither would World War I have happened, and neither so many technological revolutions would have taken place. 2 crore people died due to just one turn in so many technological revolutions. This is not a common thing. That is why whatever happened in your life till today was not irrelevant. It is a chain reaction of processes that will happen later. This concept blew my mind. That is why I ordered Morgan Housel's latest book, Same as Ever, and read it very deeply and learned 6 timeless lessons that will take your thinking to a new level. 1. Invest in preparedness, not in prediction. The world's most famous magician, Harry Houdini, had shown people such magic tricks in his time, which the world had never seen before. One of those tricks was that he would call bodybuilders and strong men from the audience on stage and ask them to punch his stomach, and those wrestlers' punches did not hurt Houdini at all. But once in 1926, after his performance, Houdini called some students backstage to meet him. Then a thin student named Golden Whitehead jokingly punched Houdini in the stomach. Due to this, Houdini's appendix burst, and within a few days Houdini died in the hospital. Houdini, who could bear the punches of big bodybuilders, was killed by a child's punch, because Houdini was not prepared for that punch. When he used to call bodybuilders on stage, he knew that this person would punch me with such force, and he used to tighten his stomach muscles accordingly. But he died when he was not prepared for what was to come. Earthquakes happen frequently in California. Nobody knows when an earthquake will occur or how intense it will be, but the people there and the government keep themselves prepared for any kind of earthquake. From the design of the house to the rescue team, everyone is aware of this. That is why a great author, Nassim Taleb, says, invest in preparedness, not in predictions. Jeff Bezos was once asked in an interview what was going to change in the next 10 years. Then he said, I don't know what is going to change in the next 10 years, but I definitely know what will not change in the next 10 years. Even after 10 years, people will want a big collection, fast delivery and low-priced products, and I focus on that only. Forget the trends and focus on those things which never change. In 2009, during the Great Recession, Warren Buffett and his friend were passing through the streets of Omaha, Nebraska. The streets were empty and the showrooms were closed. Then his friend asked Warren, the condition of the market is very bad. How will our country bounce back from this recession? Then Warren said, do you know which was the best-selling candy bar in 1962? He said no. Warren said Snickers. But do you know which is the best-selling candy bar today? The friend said no. Then Warren Buffett softly said Snickers. And the conversation ended there. Warren Buffett believes that everything changes, but some things do not change. So invest your time, energy, and money in those things which do not change. That is why Warren Buffett invests in Coca-Cola, Heinz Ketchup, and insurance companies. Because no matter how the world will look in 2050, but even then people will want to feel safe, will drink cold drinks, and put ketchup on their burgers and sandwiches. Then in this changing world, you should focus on those elements which never change. And one of its parts is storytelling. 2. Stories are more powerful than statistics. Everyone knows that the Titanic was a very big ship and it sank. But in the shipping industry, many ships bigger than the Titanic have sunk and many more people have died than the Titanic. But you only know about Titanic because that is the only story that has been told to people. That is why you know about it. You may not know the data of how many people died in the Syrian refugee crisis, but you must have seen this photo of a 3-year-old child, Aylin Kurdi. This one photo made the whole news worldwide, due to which many world leaders came into action and addressed that crisis. The world runs on stories, not data. Charles Darwin did not discover the evolution theory for the first time. Many people had claimed the evolution theory before him. But the world knows Charles Darwin today because he presented that theory with the most compelling story. The author of the book Sapiens, which has sold more than 21 million copies, says that, I have not discovered anything new. I have just presented facts with stories. Stephen Hawking has also written in his book A Brief History of Time that every equation written in a physics book slows down sales. He also believed that people need memorable stories and not lectures. 3. Seek permanent information. There are 2 types of information in the world. One is permanent and the other is expiring. Most news and social media posts are expiring information. After a few days or months, that information is no longer useful. And that kind of content consumes most of your attention. Because the internet is full of such things. Whereas finding permanent information is very difficult because it is hidden in the pages of history. Expiring information only tells you what happened, but permanent information also tells you why it happened. And what are the factors that such incidents will keep happening in future? Girls are gold diggers. This is incomplete and expiring information. But understanding female psychology is permanent information, no matter how much you use the internet. As long as you consume expiring information, there will be no change in your life. So give your time and attention to such content, which does not change even in the coming years. I share such a treasure of permanent information in my private community. To try it for free, click on the link given in the description. And whenever you consume any content, then ask yourself whether this information will matter even after 5 years. If yes, then only look ahead. 4. Terrible events breeds innovation. When people are happy, the whole world is running peacefully and nothing innovative happens at that time. People do something only when their survival is in danger. In 1930, When a very big economic depression was going on, the output of American factories increased by 41%. At the same time, they built the maximum number of highways and electric grid lines. Actually, work is done only under stress and urgency. The militaries are considered the engine of innovation because they deal with such urgent and vital problems that there is no question of money and manpower. World War II was a very stressful time. The whole world was in a stressful situation because of Adolf Hitler. At the same time, many incredible innovations like radar, the internet, microwave ovens, antibiotics, and GPS took place. If you remove all the bad events from the world, you will also remove innovation along with it. Then prepare a mini-war type situation for yourself. Disappear for a few days and work on yourself. 5. World is driven by envy. Investor Charlie Munger used to say that the world is driven by envy and not greed. 30 to 40 years ago, the household used to run well even with very little money. Everyone used to live happily. Today, people's lifestyle is many times better than in 1950. People have better infrastructure, education, health care, and connectivity. But still, the satisfaction and happiness level of people is many times lower than in 1950. Because after the Second World War in 1945, the condition of 99% of the people was the same, and everyone's lives had improved to the same extent. That's why the overall population was happy and satisfied. But after that, inequality kept increasing. The wealth gap between the rich and the poor kept increasing. And with the advent of social media, people started showing off that wealth. The standards of comparing lifestyle, relationships, skin color, and body shape became international. Due to this, the expectations of common people have increased so much that, even after improvements in their lives, people do not get happiness and satisfaction. There is a saying in France, "It's easy if you just want to be happy, but it's impossible if you want to be happier than others." And this is the reason for your sadness. Because wealth and happiness are not objective but relative. In India, the son of a village sarpanch would consider himself rich by purchasing a fortuner. Because everyone around him is poor, his wealth will be considered poverty in Singapore. 6. The last lesson, never meet your heroes otherwise. You will be disappointed. John Maynard Keynes was a great fan of Newton. He once bought all the original papers of Isaac Newton in an auction, which the world had never seen. John Maynard considered Newton to be the smartest human being in the world and believed that Newton would be completely scientific. But when he read the original papers of Newton, then he came to know that Newton believed in things like black magic and immortality herb. Now this thing was quite shocking for John Maynard because he considered him brilliant. And he never thought that Newton would be interested in such magical powers, due to which his heart got broken. When you get close to a person, you start seeing his flaws. When you see his carefully crafted personality from behind the curtain, then perception and reality do not match. But you should understand one thing. Those whose good habits are different from the world, their bad habits are also different from the world. People who are abnormally masters in one thing will be fools in other things. Therefore, maintain some distance from those people whom you want to respect till your death. Because if you try to know more about them, then there are 80% chance that there will be something about them that you will not like at all, and you will lose respect for them. There are many people whom I respect a lot. So to maintain that respect, I never want to meet them, because they are also human beings. They too will have some shortcomings which I do not want to see. I want to keep them ideal. Look, boss, now if I tell you the summary of this entire video. 1. Invest in preparedness, not in prediction. Don't try to predict the future. Stop guessing and read history because history always repeats. The more history you read, the more you will become comfortable for future changes. 2. Stories are more powerful than statistics. People need memorable stories, not lectures. 3. Seek permanent information. Consume such content which remains relevant even after years, for which check my private community. The link is in the description. 4. Terrible events breeds innovation. People do something only when their survival is in danger. So, a little bit of pressure is good. 5. World is driven by envy. The world is driven by envy and not by greed. No matter how much technology advances, man's fear, lust, greed, and envy will never end. So get control over it. Your life will be set automatically. 6. Never meet your heroes, never meet your idols. Keep them as ideals. Thank you